Hello, welcome to our Ask the Expert series of videos. Today we're going to be looking at what is a recession and what can cause it. Before we start though, defining what a recession is, we need to understand how business cycles work. In an economy, we have business cycles made up of upswings and downswings. During upswings, the economy is generally booming as growth tends to be above average. In a downswing, the growth rate slows to below average. This sometimes involves very low growth or zero growth, but it can sometimes mean that growth turns negative. When we have negative growth, economic output or GDP shrinks. In some economies, for example in developing or emerging market economies where growth is very volatile, it is not uncommon to regularly register negative growth. So economists have come up with a technical definition to narrow it down. A recession is universally recognized as 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth, in other words, when GDP contracts for at least 6 months. So why are we hearing so much talk of a recession lately? After all, it wasn't that long ago when there was a lot of optimism because of the effects of the economic reopening from the pandemic lockdowns. Well, things have changed a lot in the last few months. The supply disruptions that policymakers thought would be temporary have not been resolved, and businesses are still facing shortages of many key components and raw materials. The latest lockdowns in China have exacerbated this problem. We now also have the war in Ukraine. Western nations have imposed tough sanctions on Russia in response to its invasion of Ukraine, resulting in shortages of a whole range of commodities of which Russia is a major exporter of, such as wheat and corn, as well as, of course, oil and gas. So not only are we seeing energy inflation, which was a problem even before the war, we're also seeing a big jump in food prices. Central banks' main weapon against high inflation is interest rates. When interest rates rise, there is less money circulating in the economy, which then leads to lower demand, and this has the effect of reducing inflationary pressures. This is what central banks are trying to do now. However, when a lot of the price rises are supply-related, they cannot be entirely contained by dampening demand. To make matters worse, demand is being pressured on 2 fronts: higher prices and higher borrowing costs. So there is now real danger that central banks raise interest rates too high in their efforts to tame inflation, that they trigger a major downturn in the global economy. Unless some of the supply issues are fixed and there is a substantial drop in inflation, the risk of a recession will remain high. I hope this video helped you get a better idea of what a recession is. If you enjoyed watching it, please click on the like button, and if you have any other questions you would like us to answer, you can send us an email at asktheexpert@xm.com.